Which side are you supposed to sit? Go over on that side. I think so. Then you're not walking.
He's a phone call to his parents. He's a Bible by the door. He's the t-shirt that I'm wearing. He's a song stuck in. He's got he knows where he's going and he's proud of where he's Sometimes it's hard to see what the future holds. Most times it feels like a steep climb, and that's alright. There's magic in details.
And if you would all please rise.
When the rain is blowing in your face, and the whole world is on your head, I could offer you a warm embrace to make you feel my love. When the evening shadows and the stars appear, and there is no one there to dry your tears, I can hold you for a minute.
If you could all please be seated. I want to say good afternoon to all of you and welcome. On behalf of James and Whitney and their families, we are so glad that you are with us, and we want to welcome you here And today, we are brought together by love. By the love of this wonderful couple here. And James and Whitney, if you don't know, they were two separate people. They were, of course, they were separate people. But in two separate places as well. And when they met and got brought closer together by a love of good music, by a love of adventure. And as they met, they got closer and closer together. And now we see right here in front of us today, on display right here, the love of this couple. And they don't just have that love for one another, they also, I know, love so many of you that are here with us. Right? We are so glad again that you're here. But there are some people that aren't sitting here today. Maybe you saw, as you read about the ceremony, that there are some people that have passed that weren't able to make it to this day that I know so many people would have loved to have been here. So we want to take just a brief moment, even if it's just like 10 seconds, we just want to take a moment of silence to remember those who couldn't make it here today. And now we want to go and we want to have a little bit of a few words. I want to have a few words to the parents here. If you wouldn't mind standing, Jim, Cindy, Pete, and B. This isn't just a big deal for James and Whitney. It's a really big day for you all as well. It's a big deal as a parent. A lot of you know this when you see your kids go off and get married and start a family. That's a really big day, but it's also a scary one too. Definitely a scary one, but it's also rewarding as well. To see your kids come together with someone else, to see them start this exciting journey together. And I know, and I speak for James and Whitney here when I say this, but they both appreciate you all so much because everything that you've done up to this point, you've done so much as parents to prepare them for this day. You've done so much, and they wouldn't be here today without you. So because of your love and care and support, it helped shape them into who they are today. So I just want to say thank you, and I know they as well want to say thank you. So you may be seated. Thank you again. Now I want to address James and Whitney here. This is, of course, a special day for you. It's a day that you're never going to forget, and one of the reasons why you will never forget this day is the person that is right across from you here. Right? You are both very special people that we've gotten to know, and that so many of us, of course, we love and care for you. Now, I don't know you, Whitney, quite as well as I know James, admittedly. I went to high school with James, and we became friends, but as I left high school, we became even better friends. And we bonded over things, and one of the big things we bonded over was video games. Now, one thing I can tell you as I got to know James more and more as we became closer, I learned something special about James. You see, when you're with James and you're playing a video game together and you're being chased by a vicious killer in a video game, the one thing James will do is leave you for dead in a video game, okay? It's a fact. Not only will he leave you for dead, I'm talking like a horror movie killer is coming after you in a game, okay? James will not just leave you for dead, he will make sure to throw things in your way to make sure you die, okay? But here's the thing. That's in a video game, right? In life, James is not the person to leave you for dead, right? James is the person in life who will lift you up. He is the type of person who will encourage you on your bad days. James is the type of person who will listen to you. And you might have a bad day, and he will listen to you for 20 or 30 minutes because he's a caring person. He's one of the most caring people that I've ever met in my life. Truth be told, a lot of you know this. He's a fun person. He's lively, but he's also caring. James is also the type of person that, let's say he offends you one day, he's the type of person that will probably call you 2, 3, or 4 times to make sure you're okay. Because he cares for his friends, right? He goes out of his way to make sure that everything's okay because he cares so much about people. He does. And through all the highs and lows of life that I've been through and the days that I've gone through, and as I've gotten to know James, I've gotten to know him as one of the best people, and I am so happy for him today that he has this moment. Now, Whitney, I again don't know quite as well, but I know every time she's around, she brightens up the room in a way. Every time she talks to James, every time I hear her in the background, she's always excited. She's encouraged. She's happy. She's very bubbly, right, in a lot of ways. But since I didn't know her quite as well, I asked Tony a little bit about her. I asked a few things. Now, I won't say everything she said, but there's some things that she said about Whitney that it's not really that surprising when I heard it, honestly. One example is when Tony wanted a hotel room and she wanted a jacuzzi tub in the room. So Whitney rushes up and puts a kiddie pool in the room for her, right?
I blew it up too.
Yeah, and blew it up. You also have the time where Tony's ankle was broken, right? It was broken. So what does Whitney do? She's got to help her pick out a cool cane. You know, she's got to help her pick out a blinged out cane so she could walk around in style. And that's the type of fun personality that Whitney really is, but also how much she cares for her friends. And as I've gotten to know Whitney more and more as well, I just think about it and I say these two in so many ways are meant for one another, right? There are two people that complete each other in so many ways. But one thing I've learned through life is you go through a lot of ups and downs in life, right? Life is not easy. In my own personal life, I went through ups and downs. The one thing, of course, I'm a pastor, so I'd say this, but the one thing that's gotten me through in a lot of ways is God's love for me. And when I was messed up and acting a little stupid and acting a fool, I believe God loved me through those dark days. But in marriage, guess what? Marriage has some dark days too. Very much so. It has some ups and downs. And the one thing that has amazed me through my marriage is the fact that my wife has managed to love me through so many of those dark days. When I feel like I don't deserve it, when I feel like, man, I've messed this up big, when you feel like you're going to sleep on the couch for a week or something, she's loved me through those dark days. She was committed to me when I felt like no one could be. She loved me when I felt like no one could love me. And in marriage, we're going to go through those highs and lows, but one of the things we need to know is that you want to find someone in life to go through those highs and lows with. Someone who's worth going on that journey with, right? And as James right here, as you are right here across from Whitney, as you see her, I know from all the conversations I've had with you that she's someone you want to spend those days with. She's someone you want to go through that journey of life with. And Whitney, as you look at James, I believe you would say the same, that you want to go through that journey. Because all of us here, in some form or fashion, we've gotten to know you. And I would say, or I would hopefully say, for most people, we've had a pretty good experience with you, right? We've gotten to know two amazing people, two people that brighten up the days of so many around them. And I just want to say that we are all so happy. I know so many people here. We are beyond happy for you both to be coming together today. So James, I want to start off and I want to go through the vows. And before we get to the vows that you've written, I want to ask you, James, will you take Whitney to be your wife? Will you commit yourself to her? happiness, to love her, trust her, serve her, cherish her in sickness and in health, in adversity and prosperity? And will you be true to her and her only, even unto death? If so, respond by saying, I do.
I absolutely do.
That's not what I asked, but that works. Okay. Whitney, today, will you take James to be your husband? Will you commit yourself to his happiness, to love him, trust him, serve him, cherish him in sickness and in health, in adversity and prosperity? Will you be true to him and him only, even unto death? If so, respond by saying, I do.
Heck yes.
Okay, that works too. Well, having expressed your desire for these things, I'm going to invite you to recite your vows, which I have here. I don't know which one's which here, so.
I've got mine.
Okay. So with that being said, James, would you start us off here?
Certainly. We had to write them because we wouldn't get through this otherwise.
I might not anyway.
My beloved Whitney, I knew from the moment we met you were special, but I could not have imagined being here today, surrounded by friends and family, as we make official what's been our hearts all these years. You are my greatest supporter, my truest joy, my light in the dark, my best friend and partner in all things. Time is our most valuable resource, and there's no one else I'd want to spend the rest of mine with. Be that time spent discovering new music on road trips, to distant lands, simple nights at home playing with our Bailey, or all manner in between. You are the one I wish to face every challenge with, and the one I wish to celebrate every victory with. Today I swear to treasure you and us always, and in all things, and to remember the love that has brought and bound us together. Your love is my greatest gift. It is my hope. Our song continues for many years to come as I chase forever down with you around.
And Whitney?
I cannot believe that I went from wondering who that attractive guy playing softball with us one summer was, to standing here in front of you today. But my heart has always known that you were the one I wanted to marry. Whether it's getting over-caffeinated and driving you crazy, or snuggling next to you while we watch a bizarre Russian film we decided to take a chance on, there's nowhere I'd rather be. I can't wait to grow old with you and get persnickety with the world. Let's raise puppies and babies together. Together we'll make our beautiful house even better and host a warm place that those we love can always stop by. You are such an incredible man, even more so than you let the world see. You are strong and reasonable, loving and attentive, intelligent and analytic. You know when I need to be taken care of and when I need to be left alone. You remind me that I'm important. You get me to be on time. I consider myself so lucky to take on this life together with you. I take you, James Scurlock, to be my partner, to face whatever the world may bring us side by side, to pick up your shorts, to sign us up for crazy events and make us tasty food, to attend as much live music as we can together, to learn about our histories so that we can add them to our future. I promise to always help you to see the world differently and to stand next to you so I can see it from your side too. I know the path is not always clear and sometimes the skies are cloudy, but if I can't bask in the sun with you, then we'll dance in the rain, or maybe shower in it. I'm not here today just because I want to marry you, but because I choose you to take on this journey we call life. It has been such a wild ride up to this point, and I want to buy another ticket. Let's never forget all of the incredible people in our lives that have brought us here today, and this amazing love that brought them all here together. I love you, and I want to keep writing our song until the curtain call, and then I want an encore.
Eric and Tony, would you mind passing out the rings? And throughout history, it has been tradition to bear a symbol of your commitment to one another. And this sign has changed over time, right? But the reality does remain the same. And today you are exchanging rings, and those rings symbolize your deep commitment to one another. James, will you, as a symbol of your lifelong commitment, place this ring on Whitney's left hand? And Whitney, will you, as a symbol of your lifelong commitment, place this ring on James's left hand? And now James and Whitney have asked us to join them in a hand fasting ceremony. And this symbolizes the joining of their two individual paths, merging into one, and the start of a journey that they will be continuing on together. Hand fasting is an old tradition, and with each wrap of the cord, it symbolizes the deepening of commitment that these two have towards one another, vowing to respect and support one another, to grow with each other, to offer each other compassion and understanding, and to take each new challenge and adventure as it comes together.
Do not walk in front of me, where I may not follow.
Do not walk behind me, for I may not lead.
Walk beside me and be my friend.
Let this bond be strong and loving. So with all that being said, I just want to have a brief prayer for this couple. God, we come before you and I want to pray for them, and we want the best for this couple. We want them to flourish. We want them to enjoy life together. We want them to have an amazing time in life. We want them to go on those highs and lows, and we want them to love each other with a deep love together. So help them in that and help us celebrate an amazing day today. Amen. So James and Whitney, it is my great pleasure to officially pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss. Wait. Let's redo that. Let's go back. Okay. Let's go back. All right. James and Whitney, it is my great pleasure to officially pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride. Friends and family, I present to you Mr. and Mrs. Skurlock.